Right then. Oh, you too, especially you. I've got that unnecessary surprised look on camera as well. I've got you going, huh? What do you mean, me? As if none of this was real. Look at that. That's
top job.
Top Italian job. Molto bella. Right then, have a lovely ride. Goodbye, such sweet sorrow. Well, that's that then. We go our merry ways. Folks are heading off that way to dance merrily between the borders of France and Germany, all the way up to Lille and then ultimately to Calais, where they're going to get the tunnel back to the UK. But I'm heading off back the way we came last night and then off to the left through these mountains, hopefully, up through to central eastern Bavaria, where I'm going to be skirting through some of the little hilly bits up there, finishing on the border between Bavaria and Thuringia, which I think is where the Thüringer Bratwurst come from. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Let's get on with it. Like, already? Give me a break. Oh, one of the lessons from this trip. You can have too much tech and you can have really tech. I have been guilty of both. This mount was a great idea. It's just a piece of metal bent into a right angle with some dual lock holding it onto the console there. But the thing is, with the engine in this bike jumping up and down all the friggin' time, it just rattles it free. Right, there we go. Take two! And the first mission, I suppose, should be to get some fuel. So this is the beautiful valley that we missed last night because it was friggin' pitch black. Well, rather gloriously, the weather looks fabulous, doesn't it? Oh my god, it's so fabulous. Look at that sun, isn't it just tremendous? I love what you're doing there. The yellow, the white, the heat. Oh, it's really working for you right now. Oh, look at that. It just doesn't look real. It looks like I'm riding towards a massive postcard. First one of the day, just a gentle one to start you off with. Well, it looks like shiz is about to get wriggly. I think it's time for some extra camouflage. Stand by, the show will continue momentarily. Right then, cameras are set. Let's have it. Clouded over rather abruptly there. I was only faffing for 5 minutes. Look at that. Thought I was running out of throttle there. I was worried that I'd stretched my throttle cable or something. Turns out there's some heated grips moving on the throttle grip. That's friggin' ideal, isn't it? Right, we're taking a left here. We've got no choice. The right's got a roadblock. I haven't seen one of them for a while. We'll be back in Germany in a minute, we'll have plenty. Once again, the temperature has dropped noticeably up here. Wishing I didn't have my fishnet wind flaps open, if I'm honest. We'll be down the other side in a minute, in cloudy Germany. Bewölkte Deutschland. Suddenly clouded over quite severely, isn't it? It's like the weather was the other side of this mountain range. Oh, I really don't want to get the waterproofs out today. I really don't want to see those waterproof fingers. So yeah, AndyManCam is now solo. He also just referred to himself in the third person, which he normally tries to avoid. But on this occasion, he has fully stepped over the threshold, grabbed hold of it with both hands, and ran off with it to the hills. He is a plonker. Yeah, so I'm on my own now. Folks, I'm gone. Nobody to chase me. Oh, chase me, chase me. Hopefully nobody to do any crashing. Should have fueled up there. That was 109. Oh, I might go back actually. That's proper cheap. First U-turn of the day. hope my Germanic debit card works in this auto Selbstbedienung machine. Well, that was easy because it wouldn't take my bleeding card, so which isn't too much of a loss because I realised that I'd looked at the diesel price and it's actually $1.19 for normal fuel, which isn't that much cheaper than Germany, so onwards. And another super refreshing looking stream. The stream that could quench the thirst of 1,000 years. Even in the clouds, it's still stunning, isn't it? And here we are in Lech. Place where all the perverts come to die. Look at that. Maybe that's why it's called Lech. It's full of rich people with rich cars, so you can come and lech at their wealthy opulence. Oh, look at your wealthy opulence. I'm just going to go out and put my wealthy opulence out on shore, love. Tell you what, my wealthy opulence needs a nice good greasing. It's quite a greasy word, isn't it? Cello! Look at that place there. Schlosskopf. Doesn't that mean like fortress head? I say, you, sir, are a bounder and a fortress head, while you, my lord, are a castle face, and I shall see you at dawn. Bosh! Right then, well, after Lech, it gets twisty again, so I'm going to stop and switch on some more camerage. For the Schnittbilder, which is German for cutscenes or in-between bits. What's the matter, you? Hey, you get to no respect. Oh, Alfie is go. Vision 4K is still go from last time, so it's go again. We are also go. Tell you what, I've realised that less is definitely more with these camera mounting points. I've had arms and extensions and all sorts of crap. But after looking at the camera views, they shake around so much that it kind of spoils the view. And here's an example of how I had this camera mounted on the fork yesterday compared to this one today. It's just so much more secure, there's less faff, less crap to move while I'm going over the bumps and things. I've had cameras moving all over the place, so keep it simple, do it well. It's always been my motto, and I know that every time I've ignored it and tried to do something fancy or complicated, it just invariably goes wrong, and the result is not what I hoped for. Ponies between his legs there, or he's just a much better rider than I am, getting away from me in all the bits after the corners. I didn't see what he had as he went by. So there's a roadblock that's been blocked, so there's an unblock. Oh, look at that! It's a C1! That's for you, Smokey and the Viscount. He's definitely got the drop on me out of the corners, hasn't he? Can't even hear his bike. It's very typically German, composed, unfazed, not even moving his head as he goes around the corners. That man is a robot. And he's not waving at anyone. Dead inside. He's the Iceman. Der Iceman. Ohne Einfühlungsvermögen. Ohne Emotion. Ohne Fehler. That's a Varadero. That's 1,000, isn't it? Probably got twice the horses I've got. Twice the weight, I'll give you that as well. Road, beautiful sweeping bend. You can have fun and cover the distance. What could you ask for? Such a view. The road surface is now absolutely stunning. Not a bump in it. Somebody to chase after, who apparently is a bit faster than I am. Right, here's the test. I'm going to see if I can catch up with him without breaking the speed limit. But let's give it an upper limit. My speedo's about 5% accurate, so 105. And 50 in the villages. So, what, 52 upper limit in the built-up areas. You'll just tip 53 there. We'll let that go. Let that go. That's just a digital discrepancy. There we go. Give myself a little bit less torque. Easier to not jump over that limit. Oh, 54. What have you done there? What have you done? Just a big fat cheat, aren't you? 55. Oh, you're just getting excited. But it hasn't given me any advantage, so the referee says play on. Higro. Schwarzer Adler. The Black Eagle. Towers are very different up here. We're used to those square ones with the bells with the wheels on them in Italy. They were everywhere. Obviously got a job lot of them down at B&Q. Or Il B&Q. 70 here. Wow, it was a bit of a crap test really, wasn't it? Mostly through the villages. And there he is in front of me again. What an absolutely incredible view. It's just been valley after valley, hasn't it? I've seen some tremendous sights on this trip. And I know for a fact I would have been just as gushing and blabbersome on the last Euro trip if the weather had been nice, because I was coming through the same sorts of places but just couldn't see them because of all of the moisture in the friggin' air. The friggin' air! Well, that is fancy. Don't know if I like it, but it is fancy. Look at this, that's all painted on. Fake! But then sometimes that looks painted on as well, doesn't it? Like the Truman Show, there's just a great big wall over there with a mountain range painted on it. Incroyable. Incroyable. Matey boys pulling off. 113, I'm pulling off too. Having some of that. Right, see you in a minute. Well, there we go, fueled up, and I only managed to get 11.5 litres in, which just shows me that halfway on this bike, on the fuel tank, is more like when it's got 2 dashes left. I thought because it was so cheap I'd spoil myself with some of the posh fuel. Got some of that 98 Ron shizzle. Just because I've never had it in this bike, wanted to see what it's like, but the problem is, because it was only half full, I'm probably not really going to feel any difference. Not that I would necessarily feel any difference anyway. Many would argue that the ECU just makes up the difference and adjusts the mix for the different octane, so, you know, whatevs. Don't ever call me unscientific. I have added yet another variable to this completely non-scientific scientific experiment. I might try diesel next time. Village is a bit of a classic. Look at that. This fella's from up my way of the woods. Lübeck. How bizarre. I'll have to get in front of him to give him a proper Norddeutsch pip pip, wouldn't I? He's got no idea where I'm from the front. Obergibeln. Oh, I prefer to have people riding over my Obergibeln than my Untergibeln. If he's come all the way from Lübeck with that little backpack on a sports bike, all credit and hats off to him, because that is an effort. And an open face helmet as well. He's got all the genres mixed, doesn't he? He's wearing textiles, he's on a sports bike, and he's got an open face cannonball style crash helmet. Whatever that bike is, he's got a belt drive and a very blarty pipe. One of those straight line fellows. Stunning views up and down the valley, simultaneously through the wonders of multicam action. For your own multicam experience, speak to your local multicam dealer today at .com. Details available on request. Ah yes, I haven't told you about what we're going to be doing today. Well, not completely. Obviously I said we're going up through eastern/central Bavaria, but we're going to be calling in past Castle Neuschwanstein, which is the castle built by crazy King Ludwig, and it's the most stunning, amazing, beautiful castle, which is actually, allegedly, the inspiration behind the Disney castle, the one you see at the beginning with the doo 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 doo. now. He was proper hipster style, rocking with that beard out. He's got enough padding on his face there that he doesn't really need too much protection. If we see him red now, bloody hamburger in front of him. I'd probably chase a great big hamburger if it ran in front of me. Right, got in front of this chap and it's all straight bits. Probably holding him up now. Must be tiresome to be hacking along at this speed for ages with your beard out. I know wind in your face and all that, but wind in all of your face, I don't think I'd want it. Although actually vlogging with that kind of a helmet would be quite difficult on a tour, wouldn't it? You'd need a proper dead cat on that microphone. You'd need an actual dead cat to muffle the wind. Right, we should be cheeking all the bleeding way to the bleeding front of this bleeding queue. Na?
Wenn wir mal so eine Berge bei uns hätten.
Yeah. So that's why it's got a belt. It's a Buell. A little waterfall they've put in to keep us entertained while we wait for the lights. Austrians, they're so lovely, aren't they? They think of everything. Also, yeah, gute Fahrt, ne? So the secret is that he came with a car and a trailer. He's a cheat. But, you know, however you want to do it, however you want to get to the mountains. I mean, look, he's got no luggage. He's very lightly loaded, which has its benefits. Although I have to say, I haven't really noticed the luggage so much. It's been fantastic. And as long as they're evenly loaded, there was a patch when I was coming back from England where they weren't loaded properly. So I was trying to balance it. I was like that black stripe. I was like a backslash riding along, just fighting against the unbalanced loading of the bike. But I really haven't noticed them, except for giving it a handful uphill with an empty fuel tank. Then the front end gets a bit light. Like you can see, my stepdad and my mum, their bike is heavy. That thing is, oh, it's a lump, and it looks like it's an effort to muscle it around. Whereas this, I can chuck it into the corners, I can chuck it about. It does everything without giving me any trouble. This bike is fantastic. I've said it before in this series and I'll say it again. I've fallen in love with this versus all over again. Sure, I'd like a few more horses. Sure, I'd like a little bit more room in the cockpit, but this bike has been fantastic on this trip. It really has been a properly good horse. Then I stretch a new road. A new road done properly, none of that gravel overlay nonsense. Never ceases to impress me. You just look like you're in a relatively ordinary town or village, but everywhere you look there's a huge chunk of rock sticking out of the floor. Ridiculous that people actually get to live in places like this. How do I get me a ticket on that ride? Ooh, taking a bit of a alternative route, eh? One that the big trucks can't go on. I like the sound of them apples. The bendier the better. Oddly enough, that's what she said. I wonder what the blue park spaces are for. Only the unhappy cars. What a strange little... It's not a square, is it? It's a zigzag for that weapon. Bloody hell. I always find it very strange that Austria on the number plates has an A, whereas Germany has a D for Deutschland, Spain has an E for España, Holland has an N for Niederlande, yet Austria has an A, when it really should have an O with umlauts for Österreich. Don't understand that. Maybe the typeface just didn't have umlauts when they dished out the number plates. If anyone can give me a good reason why that is the case, I will gladly receive your comment. Ach no, verschmutzte Fahrbahn. Dirty road. It likes poop games and water sports by the smell of the air. Dirty, dirty road. Oh bugger, I've missed my turning. I'm going to have to turn around now. Could carry on, but there was a wriggly bit that I'm really scared I might miss if I don't follow the route it did have. Oh, come on. So slow. Jesus, come on. Say, do you want to be a bit slower? Yeah, skip the wriggly bit. Not having that. Back the other way. That looks like the smallest road the world has ever seen. Is this really a way? Hopefully, I'm just going to be going straight over those mountains. Right, I think this is going up into the twistiness, so why not? Let's give you some extra eyeballs, shall we? Because that's how the teams work. The team works. Who did this? I said team works. Oh, somebody is getting fired. Well, it looks like somebody in the navigation team's getting fired as well, because there is no wriggly bit. I don't know what I was thinking, maybe it was a wriggly bit I already did. So it's just onwards to the castle with the views that we have. So far I have already recorded 900 gigabytes of footage. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with today and tomorrow's footage just yet. I might have to write the ones and zeros down on a really long piece of paper. Get an extra charge from the hotel for using 15 rolls of toilet paper just to write the binary code of my video down. Come in at that angle, mate, you're not going to see anything around the corner, are you? Unterpinzwang. What a strange name. I've got nothing to say about that. Unterpinzwang. One of those little villages that you'd never hear about, would you? You'd never know it was here. But I bet there is a raft of horrendous debauchery that goes on here. It's the quiet ones you always worry about, isn't it? I just guarantee that Amazon deliveries of crystal fruit bowls and body oil are off the scales in this place. That tightened up, didn't it? Tightened right up at the same time as my bot did. The last time I came here, I was in a car and it was snowing. I was staying in Munich. I was about to say halfway between the English and the German then. Munich. Just sounds decidedly East Anglian.
Hey, coming to Munich, boy? Going down to that there Oktoberfest, try some of that festival beer. Tell you what though, boy, I don't like the look of those coos at the bar.
Yeah, so anyway, I was staying in München, and I decided to drive down there and have a look because I'd heard that it was quite pretty. And then it started to snow, and by the time I got there, the whole place was just utterly blanketed in white. It was incredible. It was quite fairy tale, in fact. But I had to walk up the hill in the snow, and I tried to take some pictures of this castle, but there was so much snow that I mostly just got fluff in the air. Here it is, both the Bundesrepublik of Deutschland and Füssen. So we're now back in Germany, back in my homeland, sort of. Next stop, fairy tale castle at the top of the hill, and then up through Bavaria. I'm not sure what accent that was. Bavaria. Wasn't really anything, was it? I can smell electrics. Either my bike is on the cusp of catastrophic electrical failure, or there's a thunderstorm brewing, but it smells decidedly scalextrical. I hope there's not a thunderstorm, that would really suck. Buildings are quite spectacular, aren't they? Apparently King Ludwig was a bit crazy, and his need for spending was so great that he almost bankrupted the country, or at least the region that he was king of. I don't think he was king of all of Germany, I'm not quite sure though. I don't purport to being any kind of German historical expert. Oh, isn't that brilliant? It's like having Elton John as King of England. Where's all the money gone, Elton? Oh, I don't know, but look at my wonderful flowers. And my piano is completely covered in Swarovski crystals. And there's a monkey inside. Look at the monkey in the crystal piano. Here we go to Hohenschwangau, which actually is the tiny little town at the bottom of the hill that the fairy tale castle lies at the top of. I'm kind of hoping we might be able to see it at some point before we get there. There it is, look at that. Oh, with a fisheye you probably can't see it all that great, but there's the castle up on the hill there. All turrets and extravagant frippery. See that one there? That's the other castle. I think his family lived in that, and him sometimes, and that was like his grown-up playhouse. Oh, do you know what I need? I need some towers and some turrets and some castellations, and I want a whole room made entirely of silk. Look at it. Now tell me that isn't pretty special. Question is, can I get up there? Can I get up there on the bike? Because sadly I don't have time to be walking up the hill. Wow. It's got turrets on turrets. It's touristastical, isn't it? Out of my way, tourists, I'm coming through. Yeah, well said, mate. Bloody people everywhere. I haven't seen this many people for ages. No, can't go up there, can I? No entry. Except for on push bicycles. Oh, I think I just dislocated my hip. Oh, I kicked the floor. Oh, that really hurt. Oh, bloody hell, can't even see it from here. I want to be able to see it from somewhere. Let me consult the map for a minute. Welcome back, boys and girls. I'm afraid I've got news for you, and it's all bad. There isn't really anywhere that I can get to with any kind of pace to get a proper good view of the castle. And that, coupled with the onward marching hour due to the late start this morning, due to the late finish last night, do really need to be getting on. It's now 10 to 2, and I've still got 330 kilometres to cover before bedtime. So, the best I can offer you is this scenic view. The best I can offer you is a little flyby as I continue on my merry way. There it is up there, in all its turrety splendiferousness. I'll just try and sneak around the back of this here hotel. There it is, look at that. Awesome. Sadly, that's the best I can do, folks. Well, that's a lot. End of the road. Does it mean that they don't let motorbikes go on tracks like this in this country? Another reason why I haven't jumped on the green laning bandwagon, because it's just so confusing and limiting as to where you can do it here. But anyway, go back to where I saw it, snap a photo like the dirty tourist I am, and then get on my merry way. There we go. We leave the great castle behind us and head north to home. Hamburg home!